My name is Barry Kirk. I'm the Solution Vice President of Consumer Loyalty at Maritz Loyalty.
Hi, Barry. Can you talk a little bit about loyalty programs and where they need to go today, where they've been, and also where you think they need to go today?
I'd say loyalty programs are in a state of flux right now. They're a very effective tool for driving retention of your loyal customers and for driving incremental profits. So people in loyalty programs generally perform better than customers who aren't in loyalty programs. But there's a challenge to the space right now, which is really that it hasn't changed much in the last 15 to 20 years. Loyalty programs today look very similar to what a loyalty program looked like 20 years ago. And if you look across the industry today, most loyalty programs that are in place today look very similar. They're generally points-based programs that are dependent upon how much you spend, and then at some point when you have enough points, you redeem for rewards. The challenge of that is that consumers pretty much have that story down. They understand how they work, but they're not going to pay a lot of attention to a loyalty program that is highly predictable, that looks like what every other program looks like. So the challenge today is, how do we make programs more engaging?
And what do we need to do that?
Well, one of the ideas that Maritz has been talking up a lot in the space lately and has been working on developing solutions for is gamification. And gamification is this idea that you take what is engaging and exciting and maybe a little addicting about game experiences, and you take those components, those game mechanics, and you apply that to other experiences, for instance, a loyalty program. And if you look around in the social media space, this is very, very common right now. They're using all kinds of game-like experiences to drive people to engage around loyalty, around social media sites, around location-based services like Foursquare. And what we are proposing to do is take those exact same game mechanics and apply them into loyalty programs so they become more engaging, more playful, more social, that sort of thing.
And what form do you see that taking?
It could be as simple as just increasing how you use status in a loyalty program. Could be that you allow people to earn badges based on their experience in the program that now become displayed publicly to everybody inside the program, so you can see who's actually earned particular experiences, who's earned up to a certain level, so that today, basically, when I'm in a program and I earn a new status, nobody really knows about me and maybe whoever I hand my credit card to. This would be a way of saying, make your program social so people can now begin displaying that status. It could be adding a leaderboard to your site so people can see how other people in the program are performing and where they sit on that level of performance, because that simple game mechanic is often enough to help people understand, oh, I could be doing better in this program and I want to look like that person who just redeemed for something that looks really awesome. This tells me what I have to do to get to that level.
And when you mentioned game mechanics, can you talk a little bit about game mechanics and maybe what some of the options are?
Yeah. So game mechanics are the component parts of games that really are what drive game play. So that in a very simple sense could be points and rewards, which we all know are very common in loyalty programs. We already have game mechanics in loyalty programs, but we don't use a lot the other game mechanics that are out there, and there literally are hundreds of them. But that could be anything from adding a competitive element to your program. So most games have some competitive element where you actually expose people's experience in the program to other people so they can actually begin to compete against them. There could be a component of grouping people together, so cooperative play, being a part of a loyalty program where you're actually earning points with other people towards some common goal. And one that I really like is the idea of randomness. Rather than making programs so predictable, make them, like most good games are, somewhat unpredictable. You would tell your people in your program, hey, I'm telling you the rules now, and this is mostly how this program experience is going to work, but I'm also telling you that every once in a while we're going to throw something in that you're not expecting. And when that happens, you need to be paying attention so you can take advantage of it, and when it's done, it's done. So not just saying like a sort of a random campaign being thrown out, but actually some really unique earning experience where I maybe have to do 3 different things within a span of a week, and those 3 things will earn me the opportunity for some special recognition inside the program. All good games have those experiences, and if we want to think of loyalty programs as games, they need to have that too.
Yeah. And when you talk about a randomness component, I guess on the flip side of that is risk. Can risk also be a component in this?
Yeah, I absolutely think risk can be it. Now, it may not be what all brands would want to do, but brands that really want to create a unique experience could potentially bring risk into the program, or say, I'm able to actually use my points to redeem just for the chance of something, and if that doesn't work out, I would lose those points. But the risk the reward of that risk could be so high that I'd be willing to do that. And so that becomes a much more exciting program now to a certain segment of the population who would enjoy that aspect of it. It's saying the program doesn't need to be so safe or so predictable. It could be a little bit unpredictable, a little bit risky, because that's what's going to wake the brain up and make it pay attention. Because otherwise, a lot of consumers are basically on autopilot when it comes to their loyalty program.
And right now, very few loyalty programs are using gamification. Is that correct?
Yeah, except in the sense that they're using points and rewards.
Yeah.
But I would say even for programs that are using those, and that's most programs, very few are looking at their program as a game. And I think that's even more important than what mechanic you use. It's going through the exercise of saying, if this were a game, if that's the lens I would use to think about my program, how good of a game is it? Is it engaging? Is it playful? Is it social? Is it interactive? Is there any competitive or cooperative element to it? And that lens will actually open you up to what could this experience be that would make it more worthwhile for a consumer to really engage in.
Yeah. And how far away is Maritz actually from introducing loyalty programs that have gamification as their as part of their mix?
Yeah. Well, this is something we've been working on for about 12 months, and we just recently announced a partnership with a company called Bunchball, which is the leader in the gamification space. And our partnership with them is actually going to allow us to bring gamification into the loyalty space. So we're right there right now. We're already working with clients on developing solutions that will start showing up probably within the next 4 to 6 months in the marketplace.
All right. Thanks a lot, Barry.
Great.